much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens.
Might help if I unmute my mic. Welcome back, everybody. Another Friday EBN Cast. Thank you for being here. We actually have so Loki is out today. He's got a lot of stuff going on with doctor stuff and all that sort of stuff. And we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. If you go to our community page, there's actually a GoFundMe for him that we're trying to help him raise money for medical expenses and that sort of thing. So definitely go to our community tab and go check that out if you are so inclined. Joined here by a regular host here, John F. Trent. How you doing, brother?
Doing well. It's Friday. It's always good to be Friday. It means football is right around the corner. My hopes are actually playing tonight instead of tomorrow. We'll see how they do down there in Miami. I think they're up for a very tough challenge. But
I am going to be at the Auburn-Oklahoma game tomorrow in Auburn, fun. Alabama. So, and we have looked terrible this year. So, but Oklahoma didn't look that great last week. So it should be
first year Oklahoma's in the SEC.
Yep. Oklahoma and Texas first year, which is a whole nother topic on sports stuff that we don't really get into too much here, but yeah, it's completely messed up. The
SEC schedule. Network.
Yeah, we should start one. Start one. So for those of you that did not know, Mexican Iron Man is not going to be joining us on Fridays anymore. He really pissed me off, so I had to kick him to the curb. No, I'm completely joking. Mike is kind of putting a lot of more focus on personal life stuff and all that sort of stuff. And for anybody who's friends with Mike and that knows the situation, knows what's going on, it's all good stuff for him. He's just, changing his focus up on more personal family matter stuff, which is good. So we have a new panelist that is going to be taking his spot and who is going to be here every Friday when we actually do the show, which is typically not every single Friday, but when we do the shows on Fridays, he will be our Mexican Iron Man replacement. Welcome to EBN Cast, Culture Casino. What's going on, brother? You're muted.
He's muted too, you guys.
Yeah,
of course.
I do the same thing.
Call yourself YouTubers.
Hey, look, it's definitely my fault. But no, I actually just had to move a movie. I'd set a movie time for 11:30 today to go see a film. I moved it to 1:30, so just so I could be here.
Well,
It's
we
3 o'clock.
appreciate it, Culture.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, guys, we have also a special guest that's going to be joining us here also today. You see him on our every Thursday night live stream. You guys know him, you love him. The DA himself, Derek Anderson. What's going on?
Yo, what's up, fellas? How's it going?
Hey,
Going good. And also,
Hey,
we
Derek.
will all be at Icon ICCC in Nashville next weekend. Me, Derek, Culture, I believe you're going to be there as well.
I'm trying.
Okay. Yeah, I actually have something for you, Culture.
I
If you
know.
make it, you already know what it is.
I know.
So we'll be there. Gary Ambrosia will be there also. Matt Rissman, Coach, a lot of you guys here will be there. So it's going to be a fun time. I cannot wait to hang out with all you guys. So much fun Thursday through Sunday next weekend. And we'll be talking more about that on our stream tonight. We did not do our Thursday stream last night. I was tied up with work projects, which is my most busiest time of year for work. Coach was tied up also, so we just moved our Thursday night stream to tonight. So tonight at 7 o'clock Central Time will be the EBN, the normal EBN.
I'm glad you were able to escape from those Kathleen Kennedy minions. They had you.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick, guys, there's 4 ways you guys can support us here on the channel: EBN memberships, Patreon, where I just uploaded the first episode of The Penguin, which I really enjoyed. Matt Reeves' Batman, it basically picks up right where that movie ends. Not my favorite Batman movie, but I did like the movie. I thought it was fine. I liked the detective side of the storyline in that Batman movie. So we are going to be uploading that. First episode is out. Second one will be this Sunday night. Also, our merch store, Coach just got done making a ton of new shirts. We also have an ICCC shirt there as well for anybody that's going to Nashville next weekend. And then, of course, Super Chats. If there's a topic or something you guys want to hear us hit on, you guys can send us Super Chats, get our thoughts, opinions, comments, that sort of stuff. We read all Super Chats, of course. And then the 5th and final way, which is not listed here, just being here and smashing that like button. So smash that like button, guys, and share this out. Real quick, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I commented on this on the Twitters before this stream got kicked off. And it's Agatha. Now, I'm not watching Agatha. Was it Agatha all along? Yeah. I'm not watching.
She's missing all along.
Yeah. I'm not watching this garbage show. I have no interest, but here somebody, Hail Eternal, said, I thought nobody asked for this. The first episode of Agatha All Along got 9.3 million views in its first 7 days on Disney Plus. Ooh, 9.3. So here's my comment. Disney Plus current subscriber count, as we know it, 153.6 million. So that's about 6% of the subscriber base in 7 days. Not very good, and I bet it will not get a second season.
That's already confirmed. No second season. They confirmed that on the red carpet. Both.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Catherine Hahn as well as Patty LuPone said no second season. It's not happening.
So they knew it was garbage before it even dropped. Then.
Yeah, the cope is that they were never going to do a second season to begin with, and it's part of an anthology of like WandaVision, Agatha, and then the Vision show, which I don't really believe because we saw that Loki got a second season, right? So,
yeah, I think that's the only show that got a second season, for my recollection, John. So
it's the only one that had any kind of decent viewership when it first launched, but
also
it did terrible in the second season. So,
also this is substantially less than Acolyte, which had 11.3 million viewers in the first 5 days, according to them. This is a full week. It's 2 days more with less views. So it's not starting out well.
Yeah, there's a
Wow,
whole lot of
observation.
cope going on when it comes to Agatha, man. Everybody is trying to make this thing into a success, and it's not a success. Okay, there's
Yeah.
no question at all about it. I've been covering it on my night streams on Wednesdays right after the show drops. Me, Kata, Cyfax, and Uncle T, we go live and we just chop it up and discuss what it is that we saw. The last episode was worse than the first two. I think it's just a downhill stream from here, fellas.
What are you using to chop it up? You got a samurai sword back there?
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. You see that? I don't know if y'all saw that back there. Yeah, I gotta say, it's somewhere back here. I got a samurai sword behind me. I mean, it's just a terrible, like the premise itself to be witches going through an escape room. Like that third episode is literally a wine mom party. We said the show was for wine moms, and it turns into a wine mom party. It's like so on the nose how bad this thing is. It just can't. I can't imagine somebody greenlit this and said, "Oh yeah, let's put this inside the Marvel Cinematic Universe." I can see this show maybe existing in some other franchise, maybe Hocus Pocus franchise, sure. But to put this in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it just adds to the brand damage that Marvel's been taking over the last, 3 or 4 years? They just been losing ever since, Endgame and Phase 4 started. So, yeah, it's just more the same from Marvel.
Yeah. And
we need to expand into other genres way too seriously when it's like expand into like horror, expand into like noir. They're like, no, let's do some
Wine mom witches, yes.
Yeah,
for the cat ladies out there, for all the cat ladies, here's something for you.
What is it with Disney and witches that they want to put witches in anything? We got that in Acolyte, we got that in Agatha. I don't know what their deal is with witches, but whatever. Anyways, guys,
I think we can draw some conclusions.
Yeah, and I heard the Ironheart. I heard they're going the DEI woke culture with that.
They need to back girl that.
Yeah,
big time.
All right, moving on, guys. I just copied and pasted this. This is an article from Forbes because the ads on there are absolutely ridiculous, and I wasn't going to try to scroll through all the ads on this, but I wanted to hit on this. Employees at Assassin's Creed maker Ubisoft urged to strike following new RTO return to office policy. Why CEOs are doubling down. I'm not going to read. If you guys want to read the whole article, you guys can go check it out. This is just a portion of it. But it says tensions continue to rise within the tech sector as management and employees clash over return to office policies. Video game giant Ubisoft, renowned for its Assassin's Creed franchise, up until this current game that just got delayed, is embroiled in a labor dispute following the French company's plans to implement a 3-day in-office work week. After more than 5 years of working efficiently in the current remote work context, many of our colleagues have built or rebuilt their lives, family life, housing, parenthood, etc., and simply cannot return to the previous working conditions. The Video Game Workers Union, STJV, said in a statement. The consequences of its decision will be the loss of our colleagues' jobs, the disorganization of many game projects, and the drastic increase in psychosocial risks for those who remain. According to the union, the return to office decision coincided with the breakdown of profit-sharing negotiations, which aren't looking good for Ubisoft. Ubisoft workers are being called to participate in 3-day strike expected to take place on October 15th to the 17th. In a press release on Wednesday, Ubisoft co-founder and CEO, not even going to try to butcher his name, stated that the company's
I've been told his name, how to say it multiple times now. It's Yves Guillemot, I think is how.
Yves Guillemot?
Yeah, because I've been saying Yves Guillemot, and I've been told that's not how you say it. They're saying Yves Guillemot, I think.
I would have never pronounced it right either. So
I thought it was Yves Guillemot.
Yeah,
I've heard it's Eve. They say it's like Eve, like from the Bible.
Oh, well, okay. Well, he's acting like an Eve.
Yeah,
real talk.
Well, he stated that the company's second quarter performance fell short of our expectations. Wow. Wonder why. Guillemot continued, in the light of recent challenges, we acknowledge the need for greater efficiency while delighting players. Now, I am one of those people that work from home 100% of the time, which started during the COOF. And man, personally, I don't ever want to go back to an office ever again. It just makes life so much easier, and I work more. I'm more willing to put in extra time and that sort of stuff because I'm pretty much always logged in. I mean, I'll still be doing work after my shift ends. I'm doing work before my shift begins sometimes. And it's just a lot. The stress of everyday work life in a corporate environment is heavily reduced when working from home. So I understand why these people don't want to go back. Even the company I work for was trying to do the same thing, and they got a lot of pushback as well. But some people like to get away from home because they're not happy with their significant other and their screaming kids. So for those people, if you want to go into work, that's fine. But if you've been working from home, I think you should have the ability. But it is their company. They make the rules. If you don't like it, I guess you can find a new job. But Ubisoft is not having a good year. They just pushed back Assassin's Creed till February. Star Wars Outlaws has been a complete disaster. The game is dead. It's going to be dropping on Steam soon. We'll be able to see the non-existent player base officially at that point when it drops.
Will it
there.
beat Concord? Will it beat Concord?
Yeah. But I want to just go around the table, get everybody's thoughts. John, thoughts on just Ubisoft, this strike happening, the company in general, everything going on with them.
So what I found really interesting is the fact that they say that they announced this policy kind of coinciding with the profit sharing agreement falling through. And obviously management knows that their financials are absolutely terrible. And one of the things that they say that this new policy will create is people will basically be resigning likely because they will not be following this policy. And I think that's exactly what Ubisoft is trying to do. So they don't have to pay any kind of severance packages or anything like that when they actually have to lay off all of these people because their business practices are so disastrous. So I think that is kind of what this is maybe trying to do in the first place. It is a absolutely underhanded business management move towards their employees. And it just kind of shows you Ubisoft and how they operate. They are run by a bunch of bad people that make bad decisions. And I think it's reflected in the games that they create, the messages they're trying to push, the agenda that they have. And now it's also reflected in how they treat their own employees.
Couldn't agree more. Culture.
Yeah, it's nothing new. I mean, Ubisoft has been behaving badly for a long time. And the whole reason that they went woke is because they got caught up in a Me Too moment in the first place. Had they never been caught up in it, I don't think they would be as hardcore in the paint on this. They were always in decent financial situation. They'd built that up into 2020. And from that point forward, once they decided that woke was the way and they were going to take advantage of the cheap funding, they moved into that ideology, which really did from that point forward crash their stock. You can look at it. You can see it from when it happened to where we are now. And it was just a descending scale of bad news, not just for the employees, which really honestly, I mean, you're going to have decent employees amongst the bad employees all together on the plan that I think John's correct about getting rid of them. But, it really has reflected what they allowed to happen within their company and the culture. Companies are only as successful as their culture is. And right now we have companies that are, essentially destroyed from within because they destroyed their own culture. Disney's a prime example. Ubisoft's a prime example. I'd go through a list of them, but that's where we're at.
Yep. I was literally about to say the exact same thing, culture. It is a culture situation that happened at Disney. We see that going on currently in a lot of companies in Hollywood, and Ubisoft is just the next one in the long line of companies. When you have to say, well, we got to bring everybody back to work, that tells you, okay, why aren't these people like either you think they're not doing their jobs at home and wherever they are, or there's something else broken in the culture and you feel like you got to, keep an eye on them. I don't know what the case is, but that's the reality of the situation. They have a broken company culture. You're seeing it in the products that they make, and you're seeing it with their stock price. Nobody has any confidence in Ubisoft anymore. Nobody. And so once you start losing confidence, everybody starts to scramble. You start making crazy decisions. You start doing things that you probably normally wouldn't do ordinarily. Here we are, So yeah, not surprising. Ubisoft is a sinking ship, just like all of these other companies. You got to go to finance. This is the this isn't the price here. You got to go to click on the finance tab if you have that. That I always get caught up with this. Where is it at? No. Go to there it is. Click on finance. Oh. That's how the stock price is going. So yeah, if you go all the way back 5 years, you can see right there at the top, like Culture was saying, it's been a downhill stream since 2021. All right, since we got out of the pandemic, and this company started showing us who they really were. $84.60 or 84.60 euros, I should say.
No,
and now we're at 10. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. That is wild. I mean, that's an 85% drop in 3 years. This company is dead.
Yeah,
absolutely dead. Yeah,
and it got down below 10 yesterday.
When they, you can see the huge decline just right off, and then they started to climb back a little bit. But listen, man, this company is over, man. It is a cold wrap for Ubisoft.
Yeah. I've always said this is one of the worst gaming companies in the entire world, next to EA. They are terrible. I literally refuse to buy any games that they make anymore. Ever since the Division was the last game of theirs I bought. And it was shown when they showed it, when they first started talking about it. Man, that game looked bad ass. I pre-ordered, I couldn't wait. Then I get it, and it's nothing like what they showed us. Graphically speaking, gameplay speaking, it was like completely different. It's like they just took a bunch of stuff out, and they, kind of sold the game on a promise of this is what it is, and then they didn't deliver. Same thing with Star Wars Outlaws. That's why a lot of people are trashing on that. And it's going to be the same thing with the Assassin's Creed game. They haven't made a good game in a long time, and they're terrible. But anyways, I digress. Real quick, Ryan Matheson for $1.99. Hell to you, good sir. Going to work to cope from home. Life is just sad. Yeah.
I will put the caveat that I do think that there are like boundaries are good to sometimes have. I think there is.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. Yeah, I definitely agree. But I literally know work colleagues of mine that are like, I don't want to work from home. Because I
know a guy like that too.
Yeah. I mean, but this guy has a wife and four kids, 2 of which are not in school. And he's basically like, I cannot work.
You ain't gonna get no work done if you got that going on at the house. You gotta get out of there.
Yeah, he's like, I cannot work from home. Getting away is kind of like me taking a break, and when he goes home, he's like, when I get home, my wife, she goes and takes her break for the evening, and I'm dealing with the kids and all that. So I get it from that perspective, but that perspective definitely exists.
I feel like if you're able to, as a company, you could make it an option. If you need to go into the office, sure, but to say everybody's coming in or everybody's staying home, I think that's kind of the problem. But I guess these Ubisoft guys, they got used to working from home, and now they're going to go on strike while their company is tanking. That is absolutely hilarious, man. Like, okay, we didn't learn anything at all from the Hollywood strikes, right? I mean, we learned nothing at all. But okay, you guys go ahead.
Well, that's the other thing is most of these people are singularly focused, myopic existence humans. They are monotheistic, and their belief system is woke. And that's everything is central to their life. Their activism is central to their life. They have they are incapable of having any diverse thoughts. I mean, when they talk about diversity, it doesn't exist within their brain. It's like, hey, how can I help gaslight my cause today?
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know if you saw it in the private chat, Nick, but we did have a couple of Ubisoft insiders speak to Legendary Drops, I think yesterday, and basically was talking about how awful the culture is there at the company.
I think that was the topic that Culture was going to speak on today, wasn't it, Culture?
Yeah, well, no, not that, but that particular video got over 240,000 looks the last time I saw it, and Asmongold actually ran it as a clip today. But yeah, I mean, this is a problem. They brushes off this actual thing, and Fast Company, John. I don't know if you've seen this today, but
I saw it too.
Okay, yeah, Fast Company. You know, because I shared it in our group chat today. But Fast Company.
I watched. Yeah, I saw this video. Yeah, I did see this video.
I've not seen this. You guys are gonna have to fill me in on this. I don't know what's going on.
It's a very good video, man.
Yeah, they're cooked is the thumbnail and the title there. And again, Asmongold went bonkers on this today too. But he talked to the devs, and the company's worse off than you think it does. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Basically saying that executives do not care about any kind of criticism whatsoever. No. They view it as just toxic gamer talk, and we're not even like it's not gonna bother us. They learned that is not the case the hard way. And then talks about what Culture brought up earlier with the Me Too movement and how that affected Ubisoft and radically changed their management style, how the company has bloated up its management, how people are getting pulled into HR meetings because they're not putting smiley faces or exclamation points in their messages.
What?
I mean, talk about.
You got to watch this video. This video is so eye-opening.
All right, I'm saving this, guys. After the stream, definitely check this video out. I'm gonna go watch it because this is news to me. I've not heard anything about this, and this comes from what YouTuber is this?
Legendary Drops.
Legendary Drops. Okay. I'm definitely gonna have to go watch this. So he actually talks to the Ubisoft devs.
He says he's talked to two of them. Yeah.
Wow.
And he confirms what we've been talking about all the time with all of these other industries, right? He talks about the brain drain, how they've basically driven out senior developers that had all of this technical expertise, replaced them with junior developers that are unqualified, and that has resulted in the poor quality of their games across.
Well, what's the name spoke on that? Alan Ing just did a new D-Files. Is the exact same thing. Is that the new president that came in there for Disney Animation wanted to make it kind of a 50-50, I think, women and men, but she ended up driving out all of the male animators with her tactics and her nonsense. And that's how we get the crap that we got over the last couple of years, like Wish and everything like that. Is because they've driven out the good, talented people, and they've all taken off to where's Lasseter at now? Skydance, I think.
Skydance,
yeah. So they're all running to Skydance. The Skydance is probably going to be amazing in the next 5 years. But they've absolutely ran Disney into the ground based on the same kind of nonsense because of Me Too, and because we have to get more representation in here because it's been an all boys network or all white male network or whatever. And so this nonsense is exactly what's destroying all of these companies, all of these DEI hires. These jobs really should never exist, and they put them in HR. HR is it's really the truth. That video right there, this one expressly, it opened me up. I was like, oh wow, of course it's Me Too. Of course it's directly related to Me Too, because everybody took advantage of that moment in the culture, in the climate of the country. Everybody took advantage. Oh, well, you don't have enough women in here. Oh, well, it's been a lot of male, toxic masculinity.
Never let a crisis go to waste. They used it as a power grab.
They used it as a power grab, and now the power has been grabbed. But guess what? Here we are now in entertainment where all of these companies are failing and flopping because they're not sticking to what's really, truly important to their audience, which is entertainment, So,
I think the biggest issue with that too is that there are legitimate issues with what the Me Too movement was bringing up. There were actual crimes committed, and those people should be brought forth and justice should be served to them. But it just got taken way out, and they saw the power. They went after it. They took out their ideological, political, whatever personal enemies and replace them with their allies. And this is something they were doing beforehand too. Obviously, Kathleen Kennedy has talked about this in the lead up to The Force Awakens and that big Fortune magazine, whatever conference that she was at, where she's like, we were making sure we're getting all these women involved. And I shared this in the private chat too. Warner Brothers Discovery, their diversity officer, has literally shared this tactic at like business conferences on how to get people that are opposed to woke ideology that work for his company out. Like, he wants them to self-resign, like leave the company. He wants to get these people out because they're not on board with the woke ideology tactics that they are implementing. I mean, these people talk about this at these business conferences and share these tactics with these other companies. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
Wow.
Wild, man.
So Warner Brothers is actually seeing the damage this is doing to companies and is actually trying to distance themselves somewhat.
No, this guy is their chief head of their diversity department or whatever. He literally is advocating that you find these people and keep pushing the woke ideology on them. So
he's actually talking about pushing it even harder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's advocating strategies and tactics to literally get people to resign if they are not on board with woke DEI policies.
Wow,
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, and he actually admits that it doesn't work. He says they spend like $9 billion, like companies have spent like $9 billion or something, and it doesn't work.
But let's keep pushing it.
He's going to keep doing it. Yep.
And even if it does work, it ends up not working anyway, because you end up pushing out talented people that actually know what they're doing. You end up getting rid of your true, like you're not paying attention to your audience. Your activists are coming in. They have a message to push. They could give a damn about making money for the company. So you end up losing even if you get those guys out the door, because you destroy your company from within. Exactly what's happening to Ubisoft. Exactly what's happening to Disney. So, yeah, it's a lose-lose proposition all the way around. And until these companies recognize, all right, we just got to get back to doing what our customers want, because our customers, they just want to they just want to be entertained. All right. Are you not entertained? Is that not why you're here? That's what the customers want. If you're not giving it to us, hey, there's 1,000 other things that we can do with our time. And everybody's starting to see it. And so now these DEI, I'm telling you right now, we're at the precipice of this, man, where the DEI stuff is just going to start falling apart left, right, and center.
Yeah.
Well, and Ubisoft is not, they can't be that stupid that they didn't know that people didn't want a male Japanese samurai in a game set in feudal Japan. Are you kidding me? Come on.
Yeah.
Like, they literally talk about how people were wanting this game set in feudal Japan. And then they're going to try and say, oh, well, hope you like Yasuke. Like, come on. Like, they know what they're doing. It's so disingenuous.
Yeah, if you do a simple YouTube search on black men that are going out against this nonsense that Ubisoft's doing with the Black Samurai thing, none of them are wanting this. None of them feel they need representation in old ancient Japan, during samurai times, and all that. Yeah, nobody's asking for calling for it. They need representation in that time era in that country. It's absolutely ridiculous. But there's so many videos out there of people speaking, not just the people in Japan, which the people in Japan have absolutely just trashed all over Ubisoft and their decisions that they made in this game. Real quick, Mr. Buttcrack Media, member for 28 months. Hell to you, good sir. Graph Web for $2. Most consistent man on the interwebs. # cancel Disney Plus. Yep. 100%. I've never subscribed to them. But Ryan, Graph Web, Mr. Buttcrack Media, hell to all you. Thank you guys so much. This little short clip is for you guys.
Sir?
What?
Are we being too literal?
No, you fool. We're following orders. We were told to comb the desert, so we're combing it.
Found anything yet? Nothing yet, sir. How about you? Not a thing, sir. What about you guys? We ain't found shit.
That's still one of my
it comes out that $180 million for the Acolyte is actually more than that. But if you look at it, and we talked about this on the HCast, where you can find me in Culture every Tuesday and Thursday on Mr. H Reviews. if Leslie Headland was talking about pounds, I guess the 180 million was accurate, but US dollars, it is not. It's more around what, 230 or something. Wasn't that right, Culture?
Yep, 230 million Great British pounds. In fact, 231, I believe, is actually the correct number as of today's exchange rates. But when I look at that, I mean, it's not surprising that it was terribly overly expensive. $28.75 million per episode, if I'm correct, John. I think that's the right number. And are you going to be surprised if Agatha All Along was more?
No, this is the Walt Disney Company. What do? They overspend.
Throw money at it.
Literally their MO. I mean, they literally fired the guy from Marvel Studios who was telling them to cut the budget staff. They got rid of Ike Perlmutter.
Yeah.
It's funny because, they also got rid of the head of DMED, which was the group that Chapek established so that there was accountability. And so, of course, they get rid of a person. I'm going to use their term, person of color right away. Iger's like, you're out of here. Get out of here. We don't want anybody that requires accountability. And it's just, again, Disney only worships at the cult of woke when it suits them, if it follows their narrative. So
100%.
Well, the woke narrative is all about, it changes every single minute, right? It's let the past die, kill it if you have to, and then rewrite it immediately. So it's always moving forward. It's a progressive. It does progresses into whatever the next degeneracy they can think of is, and it's eventually going to war with reality. I mean, because that's what the end is. You end up warring with reality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
I mean, it's been at war with reality since it was initiated. Again, it's all pulled from critical race theory, which was established in the 30s, in the pursuit of the ultimate society, led by the little push broom mustache guy. So, for lack of a better way to say it, the brown shirts that we're all watching, one particular party reflect right now in a way that makes all of us very much less safe.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Moving on, guys. John's bringing us this article right here that he wrote himself over at That Park Place. You guys should definitely have That Park Place saved as a bookmark on your browser or on your phone, and definitely check out that. John, you put out so much great content over here, man. So many articles. I cannot imagine what your schedule's like and how much time you spend on all this, man. But tell us what's going on with the Wangs of Power. It's been a complete disaster since season 1.
I think Derek's 100% right. This is just another piece of evidence that this woke stuff is on the decline. People are rejecting it. All the metrics are pointing towards this. We're seeing this across the board: video games, movies, television. Rings of Power is the perfect example. I think it is. I think this might be the most insulting show out there right now, just because of what it's doing to the legacy of J.R.R. Tolkien. They included, I guess, the most. I stopped watching after the season 2 premiere. Couldn't get through it anymore after they turned Sauron into a black spaghetti monster jumping down the side of a mountain at like a slinky. I mean, it was just, this is where they're at. But they have Galadriel literally kissing Elrond, her son-in-law.
All that
romantically in the show. I saw a clip of this, and this is what they're doing. And people are tuning out. We have new Nielsen numbers showing that the season 2 3-episode premiere brought in 1.015 billion minutes compared to the season 1 2-episode premiere that brought in 1.253 billion minutes. So that's around a 20% decline just if you do a straight up minutes watched comparison. And again, I want to point out there that you're looking at a 2-episode and a 3-episode premiere. So you've got a lot more minutes watched in the 3-episode premiere, and that number is still lower than that season 1 premiere. So if you actually do, if you scroll down, I did some math calculations here. Yeah, 18.9% is the straight up minutes decline from season 1 to season 2. But if you go and you look at, you take the total minutes watched and then you divide it by the runtime, you get some other numbers here, right? So it actually ends up coming to around like 9.4 million views for the first season and 4.9 million for the second season. And that's a 47% decline. That is what we're seeing here from the season 2 premiere to the season 1 premiere. And I think that is kind of what we've seen across the board, because we saw that with Samba TV here as well. They had 1.8 million to 902,000, and that's about 50% decline. Mm-hmm. And then we had that 63% number from the Hollywood Reporter, where it was the number of people that had started season 1 but didn't finish it. They're saying only 37% finished it, 63% did not. So I think those numbers are all kind of around the same vein there. You probably did have some people come back with season 2 just to see maybe if it might be better than season 1. And that's why you have that that number's lower than that 63%. But this is just more evidence that people are tuning out of this stuff. They're not interested in this. And they're just saying no. And they are not spending their money. They're not spending their time. And they're certainly just not engaging with it on any level.
Yeah, I couldn't get past the second episode of season 1. That's all I saw. I saw nothing else past the first half of the second episode of season 1. Halfway through, I was like, I just can't with this show anymore. And I turned it off, and I've never watched another single second of season 1 or season 2. Thank God Mr. H is not making us watch this show, because for a minute there he was telling us that we need to watch it, and I was like, oh God, can we please not do
so right here we also have Luminate data, and it shows that so they didn't actually have the first week, because the first week was like just the Friday or whatever day it released, and that's like when Luminate's data tracking like ends for the like they track by weeks, and it just ends on that Friday. So you only got that one day there, and I think it did like 63 million or something like that. But week 2, we saw that number balloon up to 764.7 million. So we can probably be safe that most of that is for that first episode. And then you can see it had a 51% decline, probably from that first episode to that second episode. And then it declined even more into that third episode, it declined by another 7%. And if you look at that number, that 372 number, that's actually less than The Acolyte was in its second week, right? So, and The Acolyte had shorter episodes. So this show is potentially performing worse than The Acolyte. That's where we're at here. And what happened to The Acolyte? Boom, cancel.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think this gets, I think it gets one more season and it's done. I can't see them doing 5 seasons. I know they planned for 5. I cannot see them doing 5 seasons, 3 more seasons of this. They'll tell the showrunners, hey, wrap up the storylines. We're going to pull the plug after the next season, because this is disastrous. There is nobody cares about this thing. And I don't know how much each season has cost them, but this is a disaster. This is as bad as I've seen it when it comes to fall off and just apathy. Nobody's talking about this. I can barely watch, like Nerdotics or somebody discussing, okay, that he's going to talk about race. I can barely watch that. Because I'm like, I kind of don't even care about that, even on that level, even to make fun of it. I'm like, but the one thing that did get me kind of interested is when Elrond's kissing Galadriel. I'm like, holy crap. I kind of want to know what the hell just happened there and how nonsensical it is, because what are we doing, Amazon? Are you joking? Wow. No. So, I think this is emblematic of everything wrong with these companies right now. Everybody's checking out. Nobody cares. Nobody's watching. They're spending billions of dollars on these major franchises, and they can't seem to stick the landing. They just don't care. And here it is. Okay, they decided to push agenda. This is what happens when you decide to push agenda.
Well, and that's the problem, right, DA? I mean, it's that they're so rested into this. Jennifer Salke really is the Pied Piper of doom. And they're not following their original approach to whether or not something gets a second season or not. This was already greenlit for those 5 seasons. We're going to be suffering through them if we so choose. I choose not to. Those of you who are watching it, I feel very bad for. Well, actually, I don't, because you're electing to still watch it. But hey, that's your choice. I can feel for you, but you can stop at any moment. It's just like drinking or anything else.
There's a difference between someone maybe watching it to excoriate it and point out what really happens in Tolkien's world, and someone actually trying to enjoy it.
Sure, but look, they're not even following their own formula for whether or not something's worth making or making a second season of, which is because it generates new interest in the video aspect of what Amazon delivers. This show certainly isn't affecting that in any way, considering it fell off by half, as John pointed out a couple weeks ago in one of his articles, that this fell off by more than half, over a longer period of time when they were showing us the metrics. This is going to get worse and worse. And yeah, I'm all for excoriating bad programming, but at the same time, I mean, there's no joy here. I don't know how, if you're a Tolkien fan, you could find anything of value in this show, because that not one of the characters follows anything that we're aware of as far as it. But like, if you've just read the Silmarillion, all of this is nonsense. So
that's where you get the joy. You go back and you read.
Yeah, that's true.
Reminded of how good. It makes you wonder, like, okay, you don't care about the current fan base. You don't care about Lord of the Rings fans or Tolkien fans. They clearly don't, like with Agatha. They don't care about Marvel lore, Marvel fans. They don't care. The Acolyte, they don't care about Star Wars fans. So it's like, okay, are you attracting a new fan base? It's like, okay, we dumped all the old guys. Let's bring in all of the new fans and let's build something for them. And they don't even seem to care. The Acolyte fell off the side of the map, and that thing got canceled. I think Agatha is just doing amazing brand damage to Marvel right now. And then this show, I don't know what we're supposed to think about this thing, but at the end of the day, if you're not bringing in new audience members, if you're not building a fan base, what are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing here? And that's all they're doing. They've destroyed everything that they had for what? Yeah,
just like John said a minute ago. Boom, canceled. That's what needs to happen. It needs to, but like Culture said, they got I believe the contract was for a 5-season run, right?
Think about the missed opportunity here too, though, as well, because this isn't just a television show for Amazon, right? Amazon is the largest book seller on the planet, and you have arguably the second most sold book series ever, and you're just cutting your nose on your platform off to spite your face. You could have been selling Untold
Imagine that. You excite so many people. You get people excited about this. They're tuning in, they're watching it, they're talking about it. The next thing, hey man, let's go buy all the books. Let's buy everything. Let's buy the Silmarillion. Let's buy Lord of the Rings original. Let's buy The Hobbit. Let's buy everything that we can get our hands on, and let's consume J.R.R. Tolkien. And now we've created new fans of Tolkien, not people that you've pissed off. No, we are actually attracting people to the fan base. One of the things I said about One Piece is that One Piece live action on Netflix actually made fans out of that franchise. People went and bought the manga. They went and started watching the anime because of how good the show was. That's what all of these, like, legacy, if you want to call it legacy properties, should be able to do. Hey, let's continue to build our fan base up, not destroy it, which is what they've done over there with Lucasfilm and Star Wars. And I mean, Indiana Jones is a dead franchise. They'll never be able to recover from what they did with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. That's the problem. They have absolutely taken money-making franchises that should just be able to print money and just build new fans, and they've destroyed all of it. For what? It's just it's amazing to me, man. It's just absolutely amazing. But look, I got to check out, guys. I'm going to listen. I'm going to keep listening. I got to get back. Look, I'm working from home. Okay.
Yeah.
So I just jumped in here for a second, but yeah, I got to get back to work. Hey, thanks for bringing me on, Nick. Shout out, John. Shout out, Coach. Love all this stuff, man. Keep doing what you do.
You going to be with us tonight?
Oh, what time?
7
o'clock normal time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay. All right, cool deal. We'll see you tonight.
All right,
guys,
bro.
Go sub to the DA. Check him out. He does great content. But yeah, I'm complete agreement with everything you guys are saying. I don't know how they continue. I don't know how they continue this series. When they're in under contract to do 5. I mean, do they switch to animation and cut the budget way back just to? I mean, I don't know. I don't know where they go from here after this season. No clue.
I don't think there's any place to go. Yeah, sorry. I mean, I don't know that I have a better answer than that.
Boom, canceled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, it should be.
But I mean, can they cancel if they're under contract for 5 seasons?
I think they lose the rights at that point if they don't fulfill the contract immediately. They lose the rights. So that's all this is. They have to make 5 seasons for the rights retainer.
What's crazy is that this is also hurting Warner Brothers, but Warner Brothers is about to destroy themselves anyways with their little girl power movie, War of the Hero,
Yeah.
which is going to hurt their freaking. It's going to hurt their 2 new movies that they got coming out, the Hunt for Gollum stuff, which actually has Andy Serkis and the live action Lord of the Rings people on that. So it's massive, massive brand damage. It affects more than just that show. And these companies know this too. You listen to Ubisoft's investors call. They know that Assassin's Creed Shadows will bring in people to buy their back end. So it's like new people that like, okay, Assassin's Creed Shadows, let me go buy some of these other Assassin's Creed games as well. And that does indeed happen. And Amazon knows this as well. Look what happened with Fallout. The Fallout show, people did it indeed like that. And what did we see on the Steam numbers when that came out? I mean, people were playing Fallout 76. They were playing Fallout 4. I mean, those games were all trending way upwards, had huge concurrent player counts after those shows. And that's exactly why they do these things in the first place. That's why you hear Sony and all these other companies saying, like, we want to create these brands and have our video games crossover into movies, televisions, because they know that there is synergy and people will indeed go and buy the games and go through the back catalogs and things like that. If they create something solid, they know that that's there, but for whatever reason, they choose to embrace woke ideology and like throw it all down the drain.
Yep. Does not make sense at all. Speaking of Amazon, I just saw this. Have you guys heard of this? So hyped for the new Prime game shows, including Pop Culture Jeopardy. Is that actually a real thing? On Amazon? Are they doing a Pop Culture Jeopardy game show on Amazon?
I don't know.
I haven't seen any.
I had not heard anything about that. I'll have to.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean,
I think having it as a category as part of the larger Jeopardy game is fun. I don't know if all by itself, like what is that going to be delving into? What is considered pop culture now, right? Are we going to be doing the all these like reality shows and that are on like E and all this stuff? Like
you're getting it on December 4th, John, whether you want it or not.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, very, very true. All right, guys, moving on. Last topic of the day from culture.
Hey.
What do you got for us?
All right, well, this is what's happening. Video game maker Ubisoft is in chaos after DEI backlash. Now, the reason that I brought this up is because it's being called an incel victory.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is from Fast Company. So they are taking the narrative of some other ridiculous source and pumping it out there as, somewhat factual to the business community, because Fast Company has sold their soul to the DEI as well. So, and by the way, I don't think incel means what they understand it to mean, but again, they are quoting someone else. So go ahead.
It's a pejorative now. They call people like us incels, even though we're married and I'm married and have kids, and I know you're married, sure. So
yeah, for 30 some years.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's like no. Incorrect. But anyway, Wednesday, they learned why the Tokyo Game Show appearance for Ubisoft was canceled, because they say anti-DEI backlash has sent the company spinning. Yes, it sent everything spinning, you dumb idiots. Nobody wants DEI. Your sales collapse in pursuit of this neo-Marxist ideology. This is a cult. Fast Company, you have joined a cult. Well done. The Paris-based video game publisher pushed the release of its biggest game of the year from November 12th to February 14th for 2 reasons. One, it's so you can those incels can abandon their sweethearts on Valentine's Day, and the second reason is so they can get a little cover from Black History Month. which I don't think is lost on any of us.
Yeah.
So they warned investors that net bookings would no longer exceed the 2.3 billion euros of last year because we've made 4 consecutive failures of games,
5.
including well,
5.
True.
X-Defiant is on there now.
X-Defiant's collapsing.
Oh,
That's right.
yeah. God, I forgot about that. That game's not doing good.
I knew
either.
I knew John would bring that up, but yeah, X-Defiant. Yeah, I think you did an article on that today. I've been monitoring that for a week.
I did.
Yeah. I was like, oh no, that game's done.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So we're
gonna find out how bad in October.
We really are. We really are. But coming a disappointing 1.9 billion euros. That's not good. That sent shares lower Thursday. They are now down by, they fell 12.5% that day alone. And they're continuing to fall. Year to date, shares are down 57%. Over the last 5 years, they were down
85.
90%. Something.
85. I think it's
85.
85.
Yeah, it's pretty
like
significant.
84.7.
Yeah, well, it'll be 90 soon. I mean, let's just be honest.
Oh, yeah.
They're not far from the bottom.
Suicide Squad killed the Justice League player base. Decline.
Yeah, they're really not doing well. But anyway, so they had terribly disappointing sales for Star Wars Outlaws. However, the underlying reasons for both of those, at least in part, is the far-right opposition to diversity and inclusion.
Oh, that pesky far right, man. They're responsible for everything going wrong.
I have to say, you mean people didn't buy the game because it had a political agenda in it?
Yeah.
Huh. So maybe sell what the customers want, Fast Company. That's what you used to be about until you got taken over by, a messaging publicist.
Yeah.
What do they link to there, though?
Political messaging and all that sort of crap.
So they try to push the false narrative of Metacritic and other things where it got good ratings. But
Ubisoft's that's Ubisoft's talking point.
Exactly. Yeah. But citing forced DEI narratives and claiming that developers spent more time on the woke culture than on the story and gameplay, which is true. Some players were also unhappy with the optional season pass model that tacked an additional $40 onto the game's price for extra missions. Yeah,
man, they tried to scam you and just squeeze every penny out of you that they possibly can.
Yeah, and the thing is that, unlike a season pass for Fortnite, which has value to it for consumers, selling you the actual full game by selling it in 2 pieces is baloney sausage, according to gamers. So
yeah.
Anyway,
I think there's like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot had excellent season pass. Like you got legitimately extra content and added things, and I didn't feel like I was scammed at all because I felt like I got what I paid for. Whereas Ubisoft clearly doesn't practice that. They give you here's our Lando Calrissian mission.
Yeah. Or the Jabba the Hutt mission that they showed in the trailer that is behind another paywall.
And behind a paywall. But back to this. I mean, they're still chasing this review bombing narrative, which we know is baloney sausage, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they're saying driven by anti-DEI backlash. And it worked to set off a chain of events that led to Wednesday's announcement. No. Look,
30% decline in your revenues, bro.
Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, if you look at it, it's like your consumers don't want this, and your revenues also were down. Oh, you brought your revenues down. The investor analysts saw this as a poor opportunity for you. They were talking about it in the former financial meeting, and what John referred to a moment ago is the upcoming financial meeting for the next quarter. It's this October. What is that, John? It's coming up 9th.
I think it's the end of October.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I'd have to check.
Anyway,
it's like 30-day quiet period or whatever, and I think that started this week or whatever.
Yeah. So it's only going to get worse. And here's their statement, right? Or at least from, I should say, Webb Bush, who is also very corrupted by DEI messaging.
Is this the guy who says incels? Because they had that in quotes.
Yeah. We believe Star Wars Outlaws was impacted by a coordinated effort that sought to troll Ubisoft games specifically and Star Wars content in general. Okay, did you guys get the facts that said you had to troll this game? Because I didn't.
No.
Did you get an email, a phone
No.
call?
What about Shadows? What about X-Defiant? What about Skull and Bones?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
Pandora? That's
Yeah.
not Star Wars. What are you
Yeah.
even talking about? What about Concord? That's not even Ubisoft. What about all the Sweet Baby Inc. games that have absolutely bombed and failed? We can talk about Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. That's not Star Wars. That's DC and that's Warner Brothers.
But also look at Jedi Survivor, and those two. What was the other one? The other one with Cal Kestis.
Yeah, there's going to be a third one that'll wrap that up. By the way.
Oh, Fallen Order.
Yeah, Fallen Order and
Yeah.
Jedi Survivor. Those two games did fairly decent and got fairly good reviews, and they were Star Wars games. So why didn't anybody get the memo on those games?
Because those games weren't getting fisted by DEI, which is what has happened here. So anyway, this Michael Proctor idiot over at Web Bush, who clearly doesn't do much of an analysis with his analysis note, says this is the case of a rare incel victory. Holy cow.
Dude, did he used to work at Sweet Baby Inc. just like the New York Times expert?
I don't
Probably.
know. We should look him up. Michael Proctor, what was your career path? I'm sure it's on LinkedIn. We can figure out just how corrupted by messaging this knucklehead is. And look, these people, if they were just honest with why things succeed or fail, they'd be far better off. But this is just a straight up lie. How many incels are actually out there? And how many of them are playing these games? You think an incel would play anything because they're trapped at home, involuntarily celibate, without anything other than video games in their life. So why is this an incel victory, you numbskull?
Yeah.
Anyway,
he's right. It's a victory, though. It is a victory, but it's not rare. We've literally had so many. It's hard. I can't even count them anymore off the top of my head because we've just been nonstop winning this year. Because what have we done? How have we won? We've literally stopped watching this garbage and we've not paid for it. That's how we've won, by just not engaging with it at all.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're just done with garbage, and I think that they don't like the fact that we're done with their garbage, and it's because of their political lecturing and everything else that comes along with it. But anyway, the CEO says the following. Let me address some of the polarized comments around Ubisoft. I want to reaffirm that we are an entertainment-first company, creating games for the broadest possible audience. Untrue. And our goal is not to push any specific agenda. Outright lie.
Yep.
We remain committed to creating games for fans and players that everyone can enjoy.
BS.
Wrong. If everybody could enjoy them, your sales would be off the chart. You used to be a good game company. Now you are a captured game company. And don't lie, because we can tell, especially with the, what's that program called, John, where, it's straight up racist.
It's like their diversity and gaming mentorship or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Their career path.
They have a mentorship program that says in order to be eligible, you have to be a woman or quote unquote non-binary. So it's discriminatory against men, and it operates in the United States. So it's illegal.
Right. Yeah. And if you get Fast Company, it's in your best interest to inform them just how wrong they are, because here's a quote. The character Yasuke is based on an actual black samurai from the 16th century. Wrong. Lies. You bought into it. You are thoughtless, and you didn't do any research to figure out exactly why this was pushed out and exactly who pushed it out there. Oh, and their book sales sort of increased for a while until everybody caught on to the massive grift, and the guy has no support in Japan anymore.
He deleted that video where he got the guy that he did the interview with, where he said his book sales were increasing, to delete that video. It's not on YouTube anymore.
Really?
They deleted it. Yeah, they deleted it after I covered it. I did an article on it, and I think a couple other people did some videos.
Oh yeah, I covered that too.
He deleted it. He deleted the video.
Yeah, I mean,
that is hilarious.
And again, if this guy spent 5 minutes, 5 minutes watching any of the coverage we've done over on that gameplay, so in this particular thing, he would learn an awful lot, including the actual history around, the warrior class in ancient Japan, pre-modern ancient Japan, even all the way up through about the middle 1800s, where you had women that were in the warrior class, but were not called samurai or anything near that. They were something geisha. I forget what it is, but there was a special term for them. And they're, like I said, everybody has their place in a class-based society, which you're going to have to learn pretty fast if you get what you want with the neo-Marxism authoritarian system of government you're in pursuit of, Fast Company. Yep. But let me tell you, you will not enjoy it. Your class is going to be the ones that get tomatoes and other things thrown at them. So enjoy that. But anyway, yeah, the game is no good. The lies are plentiful. And they say, while we strive for authenticity, this is a quote from the game developers, in everything we do, Assassin's Creed games are works of fiction inspired by real historical events. And in this case, a person who you gave attributes he did not have. And from its inception, the series has taken a creative license and incorporated fantasy elements to craft engaging and immersive experiences. The representation of Yasuke in our game is an illustration of this. His unique and mysterious life made him the ideal candidate for us to exploit. Oh, wait, I added words. Assassin's Creed story with the setting of feudal Japan in the backdrop, only with more Chinese stuff in it than you can imagine. Oh, and we're going to steal some, other art stuff from people that are in this era. Just for fun. Groups. Yep. Yeah. So, like I said, this article goes on. This is about a 3-minute read. You should spend time reading it. And then if you actually subscribe to Fast Company, lambast them because they freaking deserve it. Anyway, I thought I'd bring this story to light. Thought it was a lot of fun to talk about. I can't wait to read John's coverage of this story. So party on.
I don't know if I'm going to do this.
Come on.
Yeah, and real quick, Blood Guilty Gaming says in chat, I saw this, Ubisoft sucks and has since Far Cry 5, in my opinion. If you go back and look at their games and their release dates, Far Cry 5 came out when Ubisoft stock was at its highest point. So Blood Guilty Gaming is not too far off from that, because since that game came out, it has been on a steady downward decline. And that came out in, I believe, 2018, 2017, 2018, sometime right around there. And ever since then, so literally for, the past five years, it's been going down.
This is one thing I want to point out too. Ubisoft knows what they are doing is pushing an agenda, because they have data that they shared with us back in 2017, I think, regarding Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where you had the option to pick between Alexios and Cassandra. And they revealed that 2/3 of their players chose Alexios over Cassandra. And so they know that players want to play the male protagonist. Yet what do they do with Star Wars? They make a female protagonist at the behest of Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm.
Who's ugly.
Yeah, and then they're gonna try and cry about the fact that we are pointing out that they made a female protagonist and it's clearly like a Han Solo derivative and all this other stuff. I mean, they know this stuff. They have the data. They tell us what the data is, and then they're gonna try and gaslight us on when we criticize it for them obviously changing this stuff.
Yeah,
the things that we don't want.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, Ryan Matheson for $1.99. Hell to you, good sir. Amazon needs to learn a new word, amortization. If I'm saying that right. They need to learn something. And
yeah, you need to be able to amortize your things. I mean, they've got big problems. The amount of budget that's spent on this is insanity. So yeah.
Remember, Star Wars Outlaws, the biggest marketing budget ever
for an Ubisoft game. Yeah, ever. And that was a big, huge waste of money. But they thought, just like Disney, they thought they could slap the Star Wars name onto any kind of garbage crap they wanted, and it would sell just because it had Star Wars on it. Well, at one point in time, that was very true. That does not hold true today with the brand damage to Star Wars.
That stopped being true after The Last Jedi.
Yeah, pretty much. And I actually saw some Acolyte figures.
The hard way with Solo.
Yeah, I saw some Acolyte Black Series figures in Walmart the other day, and I was like, wow, they actually put Acolyte figures out on the shelf. And so, that was about a week or so ago. I went back just like a couple days ago to Walmart. All the same figures still there. The same amount are all still there. Nobody's buying them at all. And they will wind up on the clearance aisle, and then ultimately they will wind up at Ollie's somewhere.
Yeah, that's not surprising. No one watched the show, so
Yeah,
buy the toys.
But Ryan, thank you for that super chat. This super chat video is for you.
So I have a question about that clip. What happens to the guy with the beard and like the mustache? Because that's a different guy who's attacking him.
They both get killed.
Okay.
Well, not in that scene, but they both get killed. Both those guys end up getting killed. Well, actually, one of them. They
What
both.
does he do? Because it looks like he's about to engage Conan.
Yes. So
none of the guys actually engages him though.
Yeah, so they both end up they're like brothers. They both end up fighting and basically it ends in a draw. Conan escapes. Have you not ever seen Conan the Barbarian, John?
I have. I watched it this fall. I'll be honest, I wasn't impressed.
Oh, so I grew up on those movies. I love Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer. I love Conan. But yeah, basically, it ends up in a draw. Conan escapes, gets out of there. They end up fighting later on. Both those dudes get killed.
I like the clip too. I just was wondering what happened. I just couldn't recall what happened to the guy with the beard, because he's the one who's like facing off, and then there's the other guy that is showing up that doesn't have any facial hair fighting him.
Yeah, the way Coach cut it, I think he didn't clip the entire scene.
Okay.
I think he clipped little bits and pieces of that whole entire
that
scene.
makes sense.
So,
Okay.
yeah. But anyways, guys, that is gonna do it for us for another EBN cast. I want to thank all of you guys for being here. Be sure to smash that like button on your way out. John, tell everybody where they can find you, what you got coming up. And like I said before, you can find links to everybody's stuff in the description below.
Yeah, so you can find me at the Trent Report here on YouTube. Cover a lot of video game stuff, do some movies and TV analysis, but it's primarily video game for the most part at this point. But I might cover the Lord of the Rings thing that we kind of covered already here. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. Obviously, there's I think there's another Ubisoft story that I want to look at too that is on my radar. And there's a Sony DEI story. They're hiring some new DEI director or executive. So I'm going to look into that. I know Grum's posted something about that, so I got to look into that. So those are like the big things on my radar for that. I also run a stock car channel called John Trent or John F. Trent. And we'll see what's going on over there. There's a lot of stuff's been rained out this weekend, so it might not be a lot of news. I know the big Lucas Oil light models were rained out at Brownstown and Atomic this weekend, which is unfortunate because that's the stuff that I like to watch. But they're racing up the road here from me at Martinsville with the asphalt late models. So we'll see how that goes. I think qualifying's tonight, and they'll have the heat races tomorrow, and then the big race at Saturday night. So that should be fun. And then the NASCAR Cup Series in Kansas for the first race in the second round of the playoffs. So we'll probably be covering some of that, and have coverage on that over there at John F. Trent, and then also at the stockcarreport.com, which I try and get maybe like an article a day over there. But I just kind of launched that. It's like in a soft launch. No one really knows about it, but
Well, send me the link in private chat and I'll add it to the description for your content.
And then obviously that Park Place, obviously we got stuff going up all the time. Maybe Culture will do an article on the Fast Company if he wants to.
All right, fine. I'll write the article.
Yeah.
That means
Culture.
John doesn't want to write it.
Culture, tell everybody what you got coming up, what you got going on, and I actually got something I need to add for you in the description.
No worries,
because you're doing some gaming stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Tell everybody about what you got going on, where they can find you, all that.
Yeah, I'm in charge of the gaming effort over at That Park Place. It's called That Game Place, where we talk about video games every single day. We have a live stream on Wednesdays that may move to Tuesdays, but it's from 2 to 4 Eastern. You can join us live, talk about like a series of stories from very well-informed people, some of the smartest game minds I know. You can also find me on my main channel, which is, say again?
I said I show up sometimes.
Yes, you do. We get John on there every once in a while. He's a fount of knowledge on the stories he writes, which is great. Anyway, but do check out the main channel, Culture Casino. You can find me on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, Mindset Getter, and Twitter. But mostly here on YouTube, you're going to get at least one video a day, plus maybe up to 3 or 4. I was tempted to release 5 videos the other day. I didn't. But I'm getting back there. I will get back to 4 or 5 videos a day, plus a live stream. Plus all these live streams that I do with my friends. You can find me. Chances are you turn on YouTube, you'll find me somewhere.
Yeah.
Just the way it is. So do check me out. Do subscribe. I'm worth it. It's free. So I'm free, I guess. It's a weird way to advertise yourself. But yeah.
Yep. So I did put that game place and the stock car report links in the description just now, guys. So definitely go check that out. With that said, I want to thank my panelists for being here, all of you for being here. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Like I said, smash that like button on the way out, and we will see you guys next Friday. Bye, guys.
Have a good weekend.